podcast channel on YouTube where you can now officially see me. I'm so excited. So today we're going to be reading Canada's Trees, Episode 8, Chapter 9, which is Willows. Let's begin. They're some of the first trees to leaf out in spring and the last to shed their leaves in fall. Willows are deciduous trees with spreading crowns and long, slim, pointed leaves. You know spring is coming when you see fluffy gray willows. The trees they grow on are called catkins, and they grow in every province. They're Canada's best-known native willows. Scientists call these willows catkin willows. Did you know these little gray willows are clusters of flowers? Not all flowers on trees have bright petals. Some flowers are tiny or buried in the leaves. Tree flowers are often pale, not colorful like many other flowers. Usually, the flowers appear on trees around spring, around the same time as the leaves. The flowers quickly fade, but seeds and fruit grow from the flowers. Willow seeds ride winds and water thanks to the fluff on them. Often on willow tips, you'll see growths that look like pine cones. These growths, called galls, are made by a tiny fly called a willow pinecone gall midge. The galls look odd, but they don't kill the tree. The bed willow is Canada's most widespread native willow. It's found right across the country. You can identify this willow by the diamond-shaped patches you'll often see on its trunk. For thousands of years, native peoples have woven baskets from this willow's twigs and branches. Peachy leaves. Most willow leaves are long and thin, but the leaves of the peach leaf willow are wider with a long tip and look a lot like peach tree leaves. The peach leaf willow is the tallest native willow in the prairies and grows from British Columbia to Quebec. Willow wood is used to make paper, crates, and boxes. Long ago, native peoples learned that the bark has a pain-killing drug in it. Moose depend on willow twigs for winter food. And since chapter 10 Cedars is only 2 pages long, I'm just going to go ahead and read the last chapter in this podcast episode. Chapter 10, Cedars. Canada's history might have been very different without the cedar tree. Back in 1535, wow, that's a long time ago, French explorer Jacques Cartier and his crew were dying from scurvy, a disease caused by not eating enough vitamin C. Native people taught the Frenchmen to make tea from cedar bark and leaves. This liquid contained vitamin C and saved the lives of Cartier and his men. Cartier went on to explore the St. Lawrence River. Cedar leaves look like small scales. They grow in flat sprays that are shaped like fans. Cedar cones are small, only about the size of your thumbnail. These coniferous trees grow slowly but can live for hundreds of years. They like moist soil and sometimes live in swamps. 2 cedars are native to Canada. The western red cedar is British Columbia's provincial tree. Its bark is reddish and it lives in British Columbia and Alberta. These are tall trees. Some are up to 60 meters tall. Wow, that's really tall. Native peoples have built huge dugout canoes from them. The tea that saved Cartier and his men was made from the eastern white cedar. It grows east from Manitoba and gets its name from its pale wood. Deer eat its twigs in winter. Eastern white cedars are often used for hedges. You may have seen this in people's houses outside for a fence, and those are normally eastern white cedars. Fun fact. Cedar wood is used for roof shingles, poles, and more. Long ago, people used cedar poles to build protective walls or stockades around forts. Cedar strip canoes are made from this tree's wood. Birds and other animals depend on cedar trees for food and shelter. That's the last episode in this book. I hope you enjoyed Canada's trees. Okay, so basically there is kind of 2 more pages. This is where all the trees belong. And where I think they're native to. So pause the video if you want to see all this information. And it's the end of this book. I had so much fun learning about all of these trees, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. The next book we will be reading in the next podcast episode that will be going up next Tuesday, I believe, will be Woodland Wildlife, in which we learned all about woodland wildlife. So I will see you in the next episode. And ready? 3, 2, 1, science out!